Hello there, my name is Jake and welcome to The Norbital. Here we have deep dives and unique takes on your favorite movies, TV shows, comics, and games. Spoilers ahead for Loki Season 1 and Avengers Endgame. Let's jump right in. Okay, we all know the fateful scene I'm talking about. In Endgame, the Hulk busts through the stairwell door and into an unsuspecting Tony Stark, about to make his escape with the Tesseract, aka the Space Stone. The Tesseract happens to slide over to Loki, who picks it up and is immediately teleported. What we learn is that this event is the start of a Rube Goldberg machine that would birth the multiverse. My proposition is that this happens because of one of three scenarios. Scenario 1, a writing sleight of hand. Scenario 2, a happy accident. And Scenario 3, and probably the most likely, a cosmic plot by the Soul Stone itself.
Oh, this is absurd.
Hear me out. The first thing to point out is that the Tesseract cannot be intentionally used to teleport someone without the outside influence of a device that harnesses its power. Or at least, the movies never give us one iota of evidence that this is possible up until this point. Think about the appearances the Tesseract has had in the MCU, starting in Captain America the First Avenger, Captain Marvel, and even Infinity War. Whenever it's used, it's always with a device that harnesses its cosmic power. And you can't tell me that teleporting out of somewhere at will wouldn't have come in handy many times, and even just Loki's specific interactions with the Tesseract. Teleporting out of the S.H.I.E.L.D.'s stronghold with Hawkeye and Selvig when he first steals the stone in Avengers would have saved a lot of trouble. Even escaping his own demise to fight another day in Infinity War when faced with impossible odds would have just made sense. The writing sleight of hand theory would suggest that this was a convenient way to speed things along, and we as the audience just saw the Space Stone used by Thanos in this way in Infinity War, so it didn't stand out as out of place. And honestly, this is really how I've taken it for the last 2 years. Loki just used the Tesseract intentionally to escape, right? The major difference is that Thanos used the Infinity Gauntlet to create his portal. To further illustrate this point, almost all of the other Infinity Stones require some sort of hardware to operate. The Time Stone has the Eye of Agamotto. The Mind Stone required a powerful scepter, or I guess Vision himself. The Power Stone can't even be held more than a few seconds alone without mounting it to some sort of hammer or scepter. The Soul Stone has been used only when connected to the Infinity Gauntlet, or the Stark Gauntlet. The Ether is the only exception, but in its case, the hosts themselves sort of function as the necessary hardware. And it's connected to Thor the Dark World, so we don't talk about that. This is the whole reason that the Infinity Gauntlet is necessary in the first place. Now, where things get really interesting is due to the one instance remotely similar to Loki's teleportation scene in Endgame. I'm of course talking about the Red Skull teleportation to Vormir. The circumstances are fairly similar. The stone is knocked around and unstable momentarily. The happy accident theory is interesting here because it would make sense that the Tesseract could sort of glitch out and activate erratically when tampered with, teleporting whoever holds it somewhere random. And the desert of Mongolia does seem pretty random. It doesn't seem like Loki knew he would be launched out of the sky into the desert sand. The only thing debunking the happy accident theory is that the Red Skull was not sent anywhere remotely random. He was sent to Vormir and given an important purpose of Stonekeeper, transformed into a wraith, advising whoever sought the Soul Stone. The Space Stone has been made pretty clear to be just an energy source.
It's an energy source. We turn off the power, she turns it back on.
And or a door.
At this end.
Yeah, the cube is a doorway to the other end of space, right? The door's open from both sides.
The Soul Stone, on the other hand, has a lot more going on. It has its own pocket world to start, and it seems we've seen Thanos converse with it in the form of a young Gamora.
Did you do it?
Yes.
It literally created its own sacrifice thrill ride and recruited an employee like some sort of cosmic carny. In the comics, the Soul Stone is the only one presented as sentient because it has an actual soul. This line by Red Skull is also very telling.
Soul holds a special place among the Infinity Stones. You might say it has a certain wisdom.
Could this certain wisdom encompass the birth of the multiverse? Could the Soul Stone have harnessed the power of the other stones to release control of the TVA to disrupt the sacred timeline? After all, the Soul Stone and all the other stones are always destroyed in the sacred timeline. We also have yet to see any stories with Adam Warlock, and his connection to the Soul Stone in the comics is borderline essential. Could he be behind all of this? The events of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 takes place even before the events of Age of Ultron, so this could all be part of his master plan. Was he working with the Soul Stone in the shadows this whole time? But is this just absurd? Which theory makes the most sense to you? Tell me what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. You can also support me by checking out my Patreon page in the link below, where you can become a member and get a digital copy of the first 15 pages of my very own in-progress graphic novel titled In Vain. And if the story hooks you, you can keep reading in the completed novelization. Part 1 of 3 is included in the base membership, and you can experience the whole story before everyone else with the premium membership. The story of In Vain was inspired by some of my favorite films, including Blade Runner, The Matrix, V for Vendetta, Fight Club, The Dark Knight, and even the MCU. So if you have similar taste, I'm sure you'll find something to enjoy in this epic cyberpunk tale. A quick thank you to the co-author of In Vain, Joe Fink, my awesome wife Nikki, who supports me doing this crap, and my stellar mother-in-law Camille, who is taking care of our newborn twins as I finalize this very video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next video.